Hi guys, long time no read, or long time no tea. Either way, that sounds really stupid, but I am back with another tea talk and book banter. I kind of gave up on reading over the holiday season. I don't want to say gave up on, but it wasn't a priority for me, obviously, over the holiday season. And then right after Christmas, we had a trip to Disney World. So there's just been so much going on that I really haven't had the time or the luxury to be able to read, which is unfortunate. But I did do some reading, and I thought it would be fun to share with you the books that I attempted to and actually followed through with reading over the holiday season. So here is my big, whoa. Here's my big stack of books, and some of them I actually finished reading, some of them I started reading, and some I am currently reading now. So because you can obviously see there's a lot here, I'm going to try not to talk too extensively about each book, but I wanted to share with you nonetheless about what I've been reading over the last couple of months. And I'll show you now what is in my new box of tea and what I'm going to be drinking today. January really had a lot of great teas. I belong to like a subscription box called Sips By, and they send me a variety of teas every month, so it's kind of fun to experiment with the different teas and find new things to try. So I'll show that to you right here, and then we will get to the books. Let's take a look at my January teas. This is exciting. So, chamomile with lavender. Serenity sounds nice, but I think I need some caffeine today, so maybe I will try this K&K chai. This one looks nice too. Awake. Oh, I just changed my mind. I think I'm going to do this one. That sounds really good. All right, so this is going to be the tea that I'm going to drink for my tea talk. I'm going to start with my favorite book that I read, and a new author to me who I really have been enjoying their work, The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper. This was a book that I needed to read for our book club at our local library, and it's just such a great, heartwarming story. It's about a man who loses his wife, and after she passes away, he kind of just doesn't even know what to do with himself because she always took care of him and the family, kind of a very typical situation. And he's very lonely and kind of an introvert, doesn't like to socialize. I can relate to that. And he finds a charm bracelet in one of his wife's boots when he's cleaning out her stuff. And I don't want to share too much, like I said before, because number one, it's going to be too long of a video, and number two, I don't like to ruin the entire storyline for you guys. But there are charms on the bracelet that brings him on this incredible journey, and it's very enlightening to him, and it gives him the strength and the courage to associate with people, to build on relationships, and to just grow as a human being. And I can't even tell you how many pages. What I did was I earmarked every page that brought me to absolute tears. And I think this is the only book I'm going to actually share some of the actual words with you, because it really tugged at my heartstrings. So there's this one scene. Oh, and by the way, this is by Phaedra Patrick. I certainly should give the author some credit for her writing. So I think I'm pronouncing that right. Phaedra Patrick. She is just such a great storyteller. Okay, I just want to read you one part of this book that actually brought me to tears. So this line says, "The thing was, when you got to his age," Arthur Pepper obviously is an older man, "it was unlikely that there would be more wonderful days to come. Ones where you stopped and thought, I will remember this day forever." These pages still make me cry because it's just like, it's just, I don't know. As a parent, some of the things in this book really just made me feel. That's all I can say. Okay, and then another one that I wanted to share. During Arthur Pepper's journey, he's going to meet with a woman who once knew his wife. And here's a description of how he feels kind of about looking at himself and seeing himself, and how he's aged so much over the years. And I feel like sometimes as we grow older, it takes us by surprise. It really does. The whole aging process is really horrifying sometimes. I feel like sometimes I don't recognize myself in the mirror. Sometimes I look down at my hands and I feel like I'm looking at my grandmother's hands. Like, things just all of a sudden start to change, and you either have to embrace it, because if you don't, you're going to really work against yourself. Okay, so as he reached up to twist the large brass doorknob, he caught sight of the back of his hand. His skin was translucent with blue motorway map-like veins. His nails were thick and yellowing. In the glass of the door, the young man who had married Miriam had vanished, and in his place was an old man with too thick white hair and wrinkles like a walnut. Time had gone so quickly. Sometimes he barely knew himself. So I feel like a lot of us, at least if you're older, you can just relate to that, okay? So that's all I'm going to share, because if I share some of the other quotes that I underlined in the book, I might give away some of the things that happened. But anyway, I loved it so much that I got another one of her books, and we decided to do another one of her books for our book club at our local library. We all so much enjoyed Phaedra Patrick that we picked another one of her books, and this is The Library of Lost and Found. And what I really like about her books is they're kind of magical. They have a storyline that seems at first impossible, but she makes it believable. She just makes you believe that no matter what your age, no matter what your social status, no matter what your race or your beliefs are, there is hope, and there is no limit to what you can do. And even if you are an older person, as one of my favorite characters, Arthur Pepper, was, you can still embrace life, and you can still do amazing things and have great experiences. So that is why I really, really enjoy her books. So this book, The Library of the Lost and Found, there is a woman, I believe she's like in her 50s, and she never married, never had kids, kind of gave up her life to care for her elderly parents. And once her parents are gone, she's kind of on her own, and she works at a library, and she does lots of favors for everyone. She's kind of in debt to everyone. She's not in debt to, but she's always doing things for others and not for herself. And she was very close with her grandmother when she was little, but her grandmother had passed away. And all of a sudden, she finds this book that was written or published by her grandmother. And the date is after her grandmother passed away. So it gets her thinking, and she wants to research the book and see where it came from. And that's really all I can say about it without giving away the rest of the storyline. But again, this book was just as good as The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper. I really, really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it. The other book that I'm currently reading, I'm almost done. I've read it before, and I've watched the movie 500 million times, is Peter Pan. Since we went to Disney, I thought this would be a fun book to bring with me on the plane, and I was reading it a little bit before our Disney trip as well. Peter Pan's one of my favorite rides in the Magic Kingdom, so I just thought it was a very relevant book to be reading this time of year because of our trip, and I'm just about done with it. Peter Pan, you guys probably already know, is a great story by J.M. Barrie, and it is about a little boy who never grows up, and he goes to the nursery of Wendy, John, and Michael, and he takes them away to Neverland, where kids never grow up. And then they start to forget about their mother, and they start to forget about what it is like to be a grown-up responsible person. They start to only know being a child with no sense of responsibility, and Wendy is the one who kind of tries to hold strong and keep them from slipping away into that. And you have Tinkerbell, of course, who is incredibly mean and vicious in the book, more so than the Disney movie. She's an evil little fairy, but that was interesting to me. But anyway, great enchanting story. I'm sure you guys are already familiar with the story of Peter Pan. Okay, this I'm going to be super quick about because I didn't finish any of these books that I had anticipated reading over the holiday season. I had the Vanderbeekers of 141st Street. It was really great to start. I'm only a few chapters in. Madison was reading it as well. A great children's story about a family who need to leave the home that they know and have grown up in. The parents are asked to leave, and the gentleman who rents out the house that told them that their lease was up and they weren't and he wasn't going to renew it lives like on the top floor and they're beneath him, and the kids start to want to get to know him better and to find out what his deal is and why he's making them leave. And that's kind of where I left off, so I can't really tell you more about this, but I will definitely revisit this book at some point in time. And this is by Karina Glasser. And then we have the Winter Street books. I had Winter Street, Winter Storms. If you guys were following my vlogs over the holiday season, you know I finished the first book and then I kept screwing up which one I was supposed to read next. So I started reading like the beginning of another book that was way ahead, and basically it told me everything that happened in the books before. So I was a little bit discouraged from reading it just because of that, and then I just simply ran out of time. But the first book was really, really good. It follows a family that owns and runs a bed and breakfast, and the parents and the brothers and sisters and all of their relationships kind of reads like a soap opera or a Hallmark movie. These are really great books to read around the holiday season because they really bring you into this warm and inviting environment of a bed and breakfast and Christmas carols and cookies and decorations, and just like the whole atmosphere is very Christmassy. So for that reason alone, I would recommend it. And then you have some love stories and just some relationship problems and things that they struggle with. So I just thought it was a great and quick read. And Winter Street is by Elin Hilderbrand, and she has a whole bunch. You probably have seen them in the backdrop of a lot of my videos. I hope to get through them all someday. And then Little Women I was listening to on Audible and reading. I'm more than halfway through it at this point, but I did not finish it. I do know the story and I know much about what happens. The book is very involved, like so much more happens in the book than the movie that I'm familiar with, and it really is great. I love following the sisters through their lives and through growing up, especially the preteen and teen years, and it's just so interesting to me to read like things that they're going through and experiencing, because this book was written such a long time ago and it's so relevant even in today's age. And of course Little Women is by Louisa May Alcott, and I am still continuing to enjoy that one. Christmas Stories by Charles Dickens. I really only wanted to get through A Christmas Carol, and I did read most of it. I watched The Muppets, and they pretty much word for word read from A Christmas Carol, which I thought was pretty funny. So I don't know, maybe that counts for something, but I did not actually finish the story, and that was one I really wanted to get through because I don't think I ever read A Christmas Carol from beginning to end. So maybe next Christmas. Couldn't get through it this year. I'm sure you guys all know Charles Dickens and the story of A Christmas Carol, so I'm not going to tell you about that, but I did enjoy the little bit that I got out of it. Okay, so what I am reading now, I ended up joining another book club. So now I have the book club through the library that I joined, and then a friend of mine decided to start a book club as well. So I'm excited to be able to go to that for the first time this month. And we're reading Daisy Jones and the Six. This is by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I have only just begun this book. Basically, it is like a woman interviewing all of these people and getting to know the story of this band, Daisy Jones and the Six. And they take personal accounts of all the people that knew Daisy, and basically everybody's being interviewed and talking about their experiences and their stories, knowing and being affiliated with all the people in this band. So that's so far what I got from it. I'll share more with you after I finish the book. And that is all of the books that I attempted to and read over the last couple of months. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and let me know in the comments below what you're currently reading. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.